Powered by Riverside FM.
Prepare to be chilled to the bone as we share 3 first-hand accounts of alien abduction. They recount their terrifying and enigmatic experiences, from mysterious disappearances to bizarre encounters with extraterrestrial beings. Are these encounters mere hallucinations or evidence of a reality beyond our comprehension? Tonight on Newsworthy, 2 words and 2 question marks.
He's alive! Have you checked the children? Get out!
You have scoured the podcast world and finally found us, Newsworthy with Steve and Jerry, where we delve into all things mysterious, macabre, or out of this world, and decide if they are truly newsworthy. 2 words and 2 question marks.
Hi, this is Ed Locke with USA Mortgage. Buying your first home can be overwhelming, but here are 5 tips to make the process go smoother. Number 1, find a lender, me, Ed Locke, that can answer any questions you might have and help you get pre-approved. There are multiple options available based on your situation. Number 2, work with a real estate agent you can trust. Number 3, don't rush the process. Take your time and know that the process could take some time. Number 4, consider all the costs. Number 5, get a home inspection and review it with your realtor. Keep these tips in mind, budget for yourself, and you'll be that much closer to making your dream of homeownership a reality. So reach out to me at 502-680-0953. NMLS ID 448908, DAS Acquisition Company, LLC, doing business as USA Mortgage, NMLS ID 227262. This is not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. USA Mortgage is an equal housing opportunity.
Well, hello, gentlemen. As late as it is, are you guys still awake?
Hello. Absolutely.
Hanging in there.
Not only the lateness, but the volume of wine we've consumed.
Maybe that's the combination to feel like you've been abducted by aliens. You're just
Could be.
exhausted and drunk.
It very well could be.
Well, I'm not drunk. We had some good OG today, some Stella Rosa Black, courtesy of Jerry, to celebrate the holidays.
It's like me and Jerry drink so much of it, you get drunk.
I know, right? So I had to drink a whole other bottle of something else, but it's still, I wasn't where I was at tonight mentally. It was okay.
So for the important announcement of the night, it was Brett's first experience with the OG. Brett, what did you think?
I liked it. Yeah, it was real smooth. I didn't even feel like I was drinking alcohol. It was
Stella Rosa.
Did you hear that?
If you're listening,
I did like it.
we are still looking for that sponsorship
Yes,
from
we
you.
are. Years later.
So we have an opportunity. We were going to have a guest today. They're in a different time zone. Got a little confused. We're going to reschedule that for January. So excited. Tonight we're going to do some cool alien stories. I'm excited. We did our Christmas swap this year, or tonight. So, gentlemen, just want to say thank you for all of that.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
We can't just leave it at that. I got 2 awesome, well, 3, but one from Steve. There was a tortilla chip. It's by a company called Morenta, chili lime tortilla chips, and a salsa made by Bourbon Country. It is made with real cactus and tequila. I think we all agreed the combination of these 2 is the most flavorful chips and salsa I have ever had in my entire life, and it's not even close.
Yeah, no, it's super good.
And for all you people out there that think, well, what a weird gift is chips and salsa, but you got to understand, Jerry's a foodie. He would
Big
probably
time.
never meet it, but he is a huge foodie.
Absolutely.
And I look every year to try to get him something that he can't get just anywhere. This is very local. You can get it at a local store here in Lawrenceburg.
What was the name of it? We'll look at it for you.
Tastefully delicious.
Tastefully delicious here in
On
Lawrenceburg, Kentucky.
Main Street in Lawrenceburg.
Right here. It's delicious.
These products are awesome.
No,
They're
if you
absolutely
go into the, it's so cool that they have all these local places that can sell at a store like this.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it was in Lawrenceburg.
I absolutely and Jerry and I are kind of the same. We love to try food. I'm not so good at liking new food, but I love to try new food. And the combination of these particular chips and that salsa is the most flavor I've ever had in anything I've ever eaten.
good
Period.
stuff. If you get a chance, I don't know if I've ever heard of either brand before, but strongly recommend it. Again, Morento chili lime tortilla chips, Bourbon Country chili, cactus, and tequila salsa. Highly recommend it. That was one gift. The other gift from Brett was some koozies. Thank you. These are the most cool koozies I've ever seen.
Your daughter is going to emancipate from you.
Well, let me tell them what it is. More than you understand. The koozies has a nice stick drawing of the action, along with Hawk Tua spit on that thing, which of course I had to take a picture of and send to my daughter, mainly because Steve a couple months ago got me a T-shirt that had that on it, and I mentioned it to my daughter. We were going somewhere, I don't remember where, and she politely, or not so much so, informed me that if I were to ever wear that when she was with me, she would turn around and take me back home. When I sent her a picture of the koozie, Brett, she responded and said that she was in the process of filing for emancipation. So thank you for the gift. Yeah, it's Christmas time, guys. Not really related to our subject material at all, but you guys ready?
Oh, ready.
It's only a week away. We'd better be ready, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, that's what I was telling you guys before. It's just like, man, it's already Christmas.
Yeah,
I don't know if
hard to
kids.
believe.
I'm sure kids just speed it up so much more than normal. But yeah, it feels like I mean, it feels like it's just now Christmas, and we just had Thanksgiving and
Yeah.
Halloween, and it's just like so quickly.
Have you noticed, are you old enough yet? I know you're still a very young guy, but have you noticed the old saying that as you get older, time passes quicker and quicker and quicker? It really is true.
100%.
Very much.
It's weird because it's every year. I'm like, man, this year's gone by fast. And I don't know if it's just like I forget that last year went by fast too, or if it's
Just imagine you're going to blink one day and you're going to wake up and you're watching your baby graduate. It's crazy, dude.
that's never gonna happen.
It absolutely
It won't
is gonna happen.
actually. It's
It will.
never gonna happen.
One of the best descriptions of what we're talking about. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, from facts and proof, it's going to happen. We've seen it done 6 times now between us, isn't that right?
It is. Sadly, it is. One of the best descriptions is an old saying you've probably heard that describes what we're talking about so well. It says, when you're a young parent, you have very young children, the nights pass so slowly and the years so quick.
Yeah.
It's so true. It really is.
I
There's
agree.
times whenever parents had them when the kids got, they're sick, whatever it is, and they just won't stop crying, and those nights seem to take
Oh, yeah.
forever. But like saying, like Steve said, you blink and suddenly they're going on a date, something with 4 daughters you've got to look forward to 4 times.
Gary,
Again,
that's
never
another
happened,
thing
right?
that's never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen.
I know.
And he has the guns to back that up for you people, for you young men who are
That's right.
determined to change that.
Well, you can say that, but Jerry and I, my oldest granddaughter is 12, and for all the boys out there, she's beautiful.
That's crazy.
Beautiful.
12.
Yeah.
That
And
is great.
for all the boys out there that might be thinking a thought, the older I get, the shorter the prison term is. I'm just saying.
The less of a deterrence than prison is.
Absolutely.
100% agree.
Your free medical care, 3 hots in a
Yeah.
cot. Mess with her and see what you get.
3 hots to
Yep.
Oh man, you know what? Speaking of Christmas, I'm so excited. I bought into Australia's biggest export for Christmas gift this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheep?
No. It's not only the big. I bought a boomerang.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's their biggest export and import.
I can see that.
Is it really their biggest? I mean,
No.
it's just a joke. But
No.
I'm just curious. What comes from Australia? I'm just wondering. Look it up.
Oh, it's the joke that just keeps coming back, man. I'm telling you. You should invest in boomerang stocks. It has great returns. Sorry, I just can't stop.
Yeah. Speaking of Christmas, a lot of people feel lonely. I was feeling kind of lonely this Christmas. I placed a bounty on myself.
You did.
Yeah, it's nice to know you're wanted.
How it is.
What are you gonna do when they come to
Yeah, I
collect?
agree that.
Iron ore is the biggest export in
Go
Australia.
figure. I'd never heard that.
Not boomerangs, which was my bet.
Boomerangs or sheep. Well, I went to a friend's funeral this week, and when I was there, I asked his
Aw.
wife. Yeah, I know. While I was there, I asked his wife if I could say a word. Of course, she said yes. I stood up and said, plethora. I sat down and she said, thanks. That means a lot. I like that joke. Apparently, not nearly as much as Brett, especially Steve did.
Dude, I took a drink. I saved me something. I could not get it down my throat.
Well,
Oh,
you guys know how I like word jokes. Considering mine, the last time I did a word joke took up half the show.
Yeah.
Dude, that was funny. That's a good one.
That was
I
actually.
haven't heard that one. I didn't know where it was going when you said it. I was like, "Clever."
Me.
Man, next week's Christmas. For our regular listeners, we're going to have a small Christmas episode. Basically, we're going to play some Christmas music. Just say thank you. We are actually pre-recording that. We're going to take next week off. So you won't miss nothing if you miss us next week, except some Christmas music. Some really, really bad Christmas
Are you
music.
going to play the song that you played on?
Absolutely, dude. It's my new favorite
There you
Christmas
go.
song.
That's a reason for people to tune in
Yeah.
to see what Steve
Listen, I'm not going to say it now,
Your
but
favorite.
listen, I will close next week's show with my brand new favorite Christmas
There
song.
you go.
I would have
Reason
bet
enough to
a
listen.
lot of money that it was an AI song.
It wasn't.
Have you heard some of the AI music?
Yeah.
That's
Good.
impressive.
AI's impressed. Listen, AI's super scared.
They like write songs about anything.
So, real quick, right? But have you guys seen that the newest thing, and I see on like 6 different articles today, that we are really close to making like what they call mirror life?
Mirror life.
Yeah.
like it's a reflection of our like humanity.
Well,
Is that like where that term comes from?
no, it's legit life forms that we completely create. And I'd have to get we'll do a show on it because it is
Yeah.
weird
It'd be cool to get into some
and
AI
creepy, and everybody who's anybody is saying, "Yo, don't do that," for whatever reason.
Don't go there.
stuff. Well, that's
Don't
like the
go
whole
there.
thing with this AI stuff. It's like maybe we just should stop. Like,
Yeah.
I read
Well,
Jurassic
no
Park.
one's going to stop.
Jurassic Park obviously is a movie, and I didn't even know it was a book before the movie, but it is. The book is phenomenal, and it basically asks that question throughout the entire book. It's like, just because we can, does that really mean we should?
Right.
I would 100% agree with you. And there's many people, including Elon Musk, that is saying that we should take a sabbatical, not just leave AI, but take a sabbatical, calm down, slow down, figure out the guardrails. Here's the problem. We, America, can do that.
But
Other countries aren't going to.
and that's
abide
his
by
whole
that.
argument of because he thinks that we should stop.
It's
But he said that if he doesn't do it, somebody will. So he's trying to head it up and be like the top.
Jerry, it's the same thing, and we're not going to get political tonight, but the same thing applies to like the global warming thing. Yeah, we can cut our economy down to nothing and make green energy wonderful.
Right.
but no other country in the world is going to do it. How much of a difference does it really make?
Well, so that's where you're wrong. Every country is doing it to some degree. And here's what scares the hell out of me if we don't get on board at least some. America has led technologically every major advancement in the last 100 years. China is already kicking our butts at this one. They
And
will
drones.
own it.
Well, it's
They
because
will
they
own it.
manufacture everything. So, like, even
But it's one
all
thing
the
for them to
expertise is
manufacture it.
in China.
It's one thing for them to manufacture it. But in the past, historically, we were the ones that had the technological breakthroughs and the patents and the inventions, not them.
Yeah.
Now, it didn't matter that much to them because they would just reverse engineer it and steal our stuff. They didn't have to reverse engineer it. We're hiring their factories to make it. So they already had proof of how to do it. They just put it under another company and did it. We believe in copyright, so we won't do that.
Right.
Now, how much of a disadvantage will that put us at in 20, 30, 40 years when the world is? It's not going to happen
I think we're
100%.
already at a disadvantage.
I think we are too, and I think it's becoming more so all the time.
Yeah.
By the way, mirror light, according to Wikipedia, is a hypothetical form of light with mirror-reflected molecular building blocks.
Isn't that crazy?
I'd never heard this term before.
Yeah, it's like the big thing, and all the scientists who are just outside are saying, you can't do this. And I don't know the details of it, but it was pretty neat. So tonight, however, as in Jerry's wonderful butter smooth teaser, we're going to be talking about some alien interaction stories. I'm pretty close. We've had a lot of interviews, and I'm really enjoying the interviews. If you guys are enjoying the interviews as much as us, please let us know. If you're not, you hate them, you hate that format, let us know that too. And we'll go back to just telling stories and such. I really enjoy. What do you guys
think? It's cool. Yeah, it's cool mixed up. Like you said, we tell a lot of stories. It's nice to hear somebody else's take on
Right.
like experiences.
I agree 100%. Jerry?
Absolutely.
First-hand accounts.
Yeah, but we're here for our fans. If you hate it, absolutely loathe it, let us know. We'll put a poll. That'll be our poll for this show. Do you enjoy the interview segments or not? And should those just stick with encounters? And should we make those episodes longer? There's a lot going on. We're trying to improve for next year. Should I say? No, we'll wait till next week. Because we'll wait till we talk to our guest, because we had some experiences in prepping for our guest that wasn't here tonight that I don't want to share names, but I will. We just want to keep getting better. That's all I want to say. And we need your input. You're the listener. You tell us what you want to hear. So, anywho, let's see. Brett, do you want to start tonight? Because I've been talking this whole start.
Definitely can.
All right.
So I'm going to talk about a guy. His name is Antonio Vilas Boas. So he was
Mr. Boas.
He was a farmer from Brazil.
Was he dead?
He is, yeah.
Oh,
so this was in October of 1957. While working at night on his family farm in Brazil, then 23-year-old Antonio Vilas Boas claimed to have been abducted by extraterrestrials. He said he saw a large egg-shaped craft with a cupola on top containing a rotating red light. The craft landed by extending 3 legs, after which several 5-foot-tall beings disembarked. Antonio tried to escape on his tractor, but the engine died, and he continued on foot. He was eventually captured by these beings, who wore gray overalls and helmets, and he was taken aboard their ship, where they took their helmets off, and they had small blue eyes, and communicated via a series of animal-like grunts. Once aboard the ship, Antonio was stripped naked and covered in a gel. He was then led into a large semicircular room through a doorway with red symbols, and was later able to recall these symbols with perfect clarity. The beings then took blood samples from his chin, moving him to a third room where he was left alone for half an hour. A gas was pumped into the room, which made Antonio feel nauseated, and after this bout of nausea abated, the doors to the room opened, and a naked female alien of the same species joined him. Antonio recalled that she was very attractive, with platinum blonde hair and red pubic hair. She had a pointed chin and large cat-like eyes. Antonio felt a powerful attraction to this woman and then engaged in intercourse. wherein instead of kissing him, she nicked him on the chin. After the sexual act, the woman smiled, patted her belly, and pointed upwards before leaving. I thought he'd like this one. Antonio was given back his clothes and shown around the ship before being escorted off. When Antonio got home, he realized 4 hours had passed. A medical examination after Antonio made these claims showed that he was indeed suffering from a mild dose of radiation sickness, which is kind of crazy.
Okay, I'm just going to throw a wrench in this whole story.
Don't be throwing wrenches in this story. This is a true
First of all,
4
before you throw a
hours?
wrench, I just want to say props to Brett for being able to tell this story with a straight face and to get through it. Props to you, bud. I couldn't.
4 hours. Domino's best commercial ever. Ever. Hands down, Domino's best commercial. Do y'all know what I'm going to say?
I've no idea.
Yep.
Guy comes in and woman said, how does it go? The guy asked his wife, hey, do you want to order pizza? She says yes, and orders the pizza. She goes, it'll be 30 minutes. And she's in like stockings and she's shaking her butt. And he's like, yeah, will we be done? Well, how does it go? It says, anyway, what do you want to do with the other 28 minutes? Ain't no way old dude lasted 4 hours. I'm sorry.
I think he was talking about the beginning. I don't think he was. It was just a part of that.
So back to this story. Sorry.
So one reason why this is because this was one of the, according to this website, The Collector, this is the top 4 most famous alien abductions ever. So one reason why this story gained credibility, according to some skeptics, is that there was a prejudiced assumption that any farmer in the Brazilian interior had to be an illiterate peasant who couldn't make this up. So basically saying that he was too stupid to make something like this up. This guy actually did later on become a lawyer. And the fact that he owned a tractor meant that he was kind of an upper echelon of farmers, even. So a lot of skeptics consider the abduction story a little bit, to be little more than a hoax, but he purportedly stuck to this account throughout his entire life. And to me, that is this one thing that's just like, in this time period, especially him being a lawyer, trying to be a professional in his career, it seems like this story would be an easy thing to just be like, yeah, I was just, high on mushrooms that night or something. You know what I mean? It's like, why would you want to keep continuing to tell the story? That's the only thing that kind of drew me to this story. Obviously, it wasn't the attractive alien with platinum hair and red pubic hairs. But,
that story actually reminds me of something. It was something I was telling Steve a while back. I was telling him that aliens were currently abducting men with large phallic organs and taking them up to their ship. I told Steve this was happening, but that he had nothing to worry about. I just wanted him to know that ship is awesome. You're looking puzzled. You don't remember this discussion?
Man, I work too hard for this crap. I shouldn't be abused like this, is all I'm saying. Gosh.
Oh, man.
Jerry's just jealous.
You worked hours tirelessly for us today.
I did. That's not.
It
That's
didn't even pay off.
that's not a joke. Woo, that was brutal. Woo.
We're not even talking about the work he did in the San Juan restroom.
Listen,
Hey, we got to give props for props are due.
I put those stickers all over San Juan, and for our friend in San
Who
Juan
found
who
found it?
who found it and went out of his way. Sent 2 people actually have responded to those stickers.
Oh,
So,
really? That's awesome.
yeah. One found me directly on Facebook and sent me a market and said, hey, I'm glad you're here. He was an American that moved there. So, yeah. But, we had a guy send us an email, said, hey, I found this sticker. Love your show. Blah, blah, blah. It sounds cool. That's what we do those for.
For the odds.
In San Juan, if you've never been, there are everywhere you go, like when you're walking down the street, there's poles where people just put stickers, or if there's a window that has been boarded up, they put stickers of bands and everything. And I put a butt ton of our stickers out, to promote the show.
Yeah.
And it has paid direct dividends. Our actual numbers in San Juan, I'm sure, have gone up. And we've had actually 2 people reach out and connect to us, which is
cool. Yeah.
I think that's just
Absolutely.
And the one Jerry's talking about, I was in a pizzeria, which I know that's weird, eating pizza in San Juan, but it was delicious. Oh my gosh, dude. Freaking delicious.
I don't know why they would be weird compared to anywhere else.
Right. And it's upstairs. It's in this little hole in the wall, and the crust is made right then, and the toppings are like they grate the cheese before they put it on your pizza. But in the bathroom, stickers everywhere. So right where I was standing, I put one right in front of the face, right where my eyes could see it. And that's where he found it. If you're in San Juan and you find one of Newsworthy's stickers, send us your name and address. We'll send you some awesome swag. Just throwing it out there.
Absolutely.
Jerry, do you want me to go next?
Oh, sure.
So I'm really excited about my story tonight because I lived roughly less than 100 miles from where this actually happened.
Did you really?
Yeah. When I lived in Idaho, it was right across from the Montana border. It happened in northwestern in Montana. Folks, if you've never been to Montana, it's considered flyover country for the most part. But Montana, Idaho, Wyoming are probably 3 of the most beautiful states in our entire.
Have you guys seen Yellowstone?
Yellowstone is the one thing I never went to. And
have you guys seen the show Yellowstone?
Oh no.
It is phenomenal.
Every episode except for the one from last Sunday, I've not watched it yet. And that's
I've not seen the new season. Yeah, I've not seen the new season. So it's a phenomenal show. And I guarantee you there's so many people that moved to Montana just because of that show. Because it is beautiful.
Montana is unbelievably gorgeous.
Yeah.
You just can't. To be in it's called Big Sky Country. That's its nickname. But to understand what that means, you have to go 10 miles outside of town, any town, because there's no light pollution, and you literally can see all of our sky. It is so
Charlie talked about it when they drove through
freaking
Montana.
Gorgeous. Now, Montana, much to the chagrin of most of the people that live there, did have to put a speed limit on their highways after dark. After dark, the speed limit is 85 on all their highways. 85 miles an hour.
Because that gives you plenty of time to
During
see the cattle.
During the day, there is no speed limit on their major highways.
Really?
Drive as fast as you want. And there's a reason for that. You'll be on a 2-lane highway for 100 miles and not see another car. Because the towns are so spread out. It's such a big city.
I'd be like testing my car and be like, let's see how
Here's
fast you can go, baby.
Here's the catch. If your car breaks down, you're screwed.
Very, very good chance, I'm sure, that there's no cell reception there.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I'll tell you all this story, then I'll get into my story. So, when I moved to Idaho, this was, 20 years ago, Jerry? Probably.
Oh, yeah.
At least 20 years ago. So, I would assume that cell service and radio service is important. But at this particular time, I was driving a U-Haul, had my car on the back of the U-Haul in a trailer. And I'm sitting there cruising through Wyoming, and I lose radio signal. Well, I was jamming, just loud, had the radio. It was just me. I was driving by myself. So it was loud. And then I lost my radio. So I hit scan, and it started scanning through and couldn't find a radio station. So, it's sitting there doing its thing. I'm driving. I don't care. Like an hour later, a legit hour later, you know how you drive and you've been driving and you can't get in that zone?
Sure. You can't remember.
Can't remember shit.
I bet it scared that piss out.
So I'm sitting there driving, all of a sudden that radio caught a station and it came out just blaring in the speakers. I damn near rolled that.
I can imagine.
Back and forth. Scared me to death.
So would anyone.
Oh my gosh. It was so bad. and that trailer on the back, with my car on top of it was going back. It was bad. And it wasn't a little car. I had a Pontiac Bonneville SSE, big 4-door, nasty.
Yeah, so if you can't find a radio station, you're not getting cell signal. I'm sure it's improved.
Oh, I would hope.
Even so, when you're driving 100 miles without seeing cars on the highway, there's
Yeah.
not many cell towers
Yeah,
there.
I think Post Malone moved to Idaho, didn't
Oh,
he?
did he? Probably.
Yeah, I think he like went to a concert up there, and he was like, "I'm just gonna move here."
There
He
you go.
left California.
It's beautiful. That whole area is beautiful. Love it.
There you
Go
go.
across the. You go any further west than Boise, though, you get into crazy country. So,
Yeah.
but I can't say that because we have an absolute butt ton of listeners in Spokane and Seattle, Washington. So we appreciate you in Washington.
That
We
would
love
be.
you guys.
Absolutely.
But keep listening.
Well, you built the area up. Tell us the story.
Let's tell you the story. Now, this happened all the way back in the fall of 1989. Sheila Young, who works as a preschool carer in Troy, Montana, says her and her family were abducted by aliens, and it was the most horrific experience of her life. This article is coming from, by Harvey Day of the Short List. I just want to let everybody know, give props where props are due. The 53-year-old said, in the fall of 1989, me, my then husband, and our 3 children were abducted, terrorized every single night for 6 months. My children, who are now grown, still suffer from PTSD from our experiences. She explained, we lived on 8 acres in semi-remote location, and we just explained what that means. 100 miles to the nearest Walmart. In northwest Montana, when our abductions began. She believed the incidents started in October, and it was in fall for sure because it was really negatively affecting her husband while he was hunting. It was the most horrific and terrorizing experience they have ever encountered to this day. Her husband and 3 children were playing family games in their home when her husband and her saw a streak of fire shooting across the sky. We went outside and saw whatever it was that seemed to have crashed or fallen from the sky on the upper part of their land. We investigated the next day as it was too dark at the time to see anything. We did notice the treetops seemed to be burnt, but found no evidence of anything that had fallen or crashed. The next evening was a normal evening for them, and we put our children to bed, and my husband and I turned in for the evening. Around 3 a.m., they were awoken by bright lights coming through the entire house, and they were both keenly aware that they were being watched. Can you imagine? Ugh. What's 3 a.m. called? Like, there's a name for that. Like, when most everybody who wakes up in the middle of the night wakes up at 3 a.m. It's like the watching hour or the praying hour. Or
The witching hour?
The
Is
witching
it?
hour,
Maybe.
Creepy. The next day, sorry. Recalling what she says was her encounter with the extraterrestrials, Sheila added, I have a scar where I remember being hooked to some sort of TV monitor night after night with hundreds of other humans. Those days and hours are etched into their memories, and they did report the incidents to her pastor, and he actually came out and did a house blessing. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And she didn't even get the details in this article, but I think that if you were being visited every night and hooked up to machines in a ship with hundreds of other humans,
I'd be calling the cops.
it'd be something. I'd be reporting it.
Do you know what I'll be doing? Moving. Friggin' moving. Again, how long did this happen? 6 months, I think.
6
right?
months.
Are you flipping kidding me? Move.
House on the market.
Get your
8
ass up
acres.
and move.
You find somebody by that.
Yeah.
Heck yes. Again, I've said this for a long time. Many of these stories, the thing that blows me away the most isn't that it happened. It isn't the events. It's why the hell did you stick around for it to happen again
Right.
and again and
I
again?
wouldn't be attached to any home enough to
No.
withstand. I'd move in a second.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we know this.
Yeah.
By the way,
I've had 3 houses.
Well, that's easy to do when you got a great relative. I'm just throwing that out there.
That's true.
also helps when the market has went up like it has in the
Yeah.
past few
Well,
years.
yeah, you got to replace it, but yeah, still. Yeah. Definitely helps.
By the way, you're absolutely right. The witching hour is a time of night when the supernatural is believed to be most active, usually between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m.
Every time I get up in the middle of the night to use the restroom, it's always at 3 o'clock. On the dot, like not 3:02, not 2:55, 3 o'clock. I'm up.
Yeah.
Listen to this. The term may have originated in 1535 when the Catholic Church prohibited activities during this time due to concerns about witchcraft.
Wow.
Who would have thought?
Pretty interesting.
The witching hour. So, you through with yours?
Yeah, absolutely. My poor girl is in Troy, Montana, has got me scared now. And
Too scared
here's
to go
another
back
thing.
to Montana.
No, heck no. I'd go back. Montana is beautiful and wonderful. And I even told Robin, I was like, if someone offered me a job and I knew I had a job going out there, drop of the hat.
Really?
I'd send everybody, somebody else for my stuff. We're going. Let's go.
I mean, to leave all your family and
Gorgeous.
your kids,
Just-
your grandkids.
Dude, they still have homesteading in Idaho.
I know.
I mean,
You know what they don't have?
What?
Your kids and grandkids.
Well, that's okay. They can visit. I mean, seriously.
That's far drive.
That's a long drive.
That's what they make those big things with wings for. And I could go up to I could go up to Troy, and if I'm letting them hook me up to a machine, maybe they'll give my kids a ride for free.
There you go.
Hey, Josh already has had an experience.
I know. We need to have him on the Burning Counters episode.
You talk about crazy. That's crazy. I've
He-
told you
he-
that story, right,
Yeah,
Josh?
you have. But let's not spoil
Yeah, I'm
it.
not going to tell you.
Because Josh will. He'll come on, I'm sure, wouldn't he?
I'm sure.
I don't know why we haven't had him on
Exactly.
already.
Josh, if you're listening, and he does listen to
Yeah,
us,
he
I
does.
think. Yep. Figure out a time that works, and we're going to have you on, bud.
We're going to come on for encounters. because that's
25
crazy.
hours you're going to make your kids drive to go see you.
One way.
That's
Yeah.
I put in Bozeman, Montana, just because that's the else.
Yeah.
But Bozeman, Montana is 25 hours.
Yeah.
One way.
It's a long drive.
So
You know,
it's
it's
a long
4
drive.
days.
That's
4 days.
Round trip.
I mean, if you think you're doing 12, yeah, that's a 12-hour drive. That's
2 days.
really, if you think about it, you're not even doing a 12-hour drive because that's not including stops. So you're saying
12 hours.
30,
It's 2 days.
36
each way.
hours maybe getting up there. So you're taking 3 days minimum. You're
Our
going to get up
country's so big and beautiful.
In other words, they take a week's vacation. They spend 3 days to get there, 1 day with you, and 3 days to come back.
I guess I'll see you.
Why can't they fly? Why have we forgotten airplanes exist?
It's a 6.5-hour flight, $350 a ticket.
It costs you that much in gas. Come on.
Yeah, times how many kids? All your kids have
They can
kids.
sit in Kylie's lap.
You guys better love Montana. Apparently, you're going to be doing it alone.
Yeah, I'm not going to Montana. Have you met my wife?
I met your wife.
She wouldn't even move home to Tennessee. She loves it right where we're at. This is where I will. You guys will come here to do the podcast, and I'll be sitting in the chair all stiff. That's what's going to happen here at some point.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. Okay. My subject is about the 7-foot alien creatures. You heard right.
Are they hairy?
They are what 7-foot creatures are not?
I'm just saying. Let's talk Bigfoot here. Come on now.
The user, Ash Jr. 97, tells this story. When he was young, about 4 or 5, he had his experience. Up until a few years ago, he said it was a dream, or he thought it was a dream because it was a very vague memory. But throughout the years, it keeps getting clear. I've never had that experience. I've never had, have you guys, an experience from when you're small and it continues to get clearer and clearer through the years? So
No, it's always the opposite.
Right.
That's with me. But anyway, with this gentleman, it keeps getting clearer and clearer. And he says, here's what I can remember as of now. I remember as a child, I'm lying on this table. He says it's like a slab in the middle of an all-white room, and the room is very bright. He was in an outfit that reminds him of a hospital gown, and he can't move his body or his head. He can only look around with his eyes. Now, that is very common in dreams. There's a name for it. It has to do with
Sleep paralysis.
yes, when you're just kind of trapped. You're trapped in a body. You can't move. You can't escape. There's like an easy escape from this situation, but your body is frozen. You can't move. That is very common. And he says suddenly the door opens. It's like an automatic door. And behind the door, it's again all white as well. And suddenly he sees two people in the doorway, and they're both very tall. He says around 7 feet. Now, he's a 4 or 5 year old. 4 or 5 year olds, there's a whole lot of people that look 7 feet tall. Not saying they weren't, just saying he was 4 or 5. Anyway, the two people were very tall. They were extremely thin. They were pure black. Obviously, a huge difference between the all white background and the two people, the 7-foot people, they're all black. So black, so dark, he can't even make out any features. And he says, I've dealt with strange things all my life. Scars magically appearing on my body, bruises I wake up with, etc. That's his story. Woke up on a metal slab. Everything is all white. Door opens and 2 7-foot black, solid black beings walk in.
I was thinking it was like so much light that anybody that walks through that light is gonna silhouette.
Very dark. Yeah, very dark.
I don't know.
I agree.
It's interesting.
So we do a lot of these shows. We talk to a lot of people. Jerry, you and I and Logan talked to a lot of people that had encounters with UFOs. And I think it goes back to what you say. Let's just take a easy number. Let's say 96, 97% of them are misidentification. Still leave the last 3%. And the drones in New Jersey right now is another example of. I heard on Joe Rogan, sometimes I listen to Joe, you got to listen to the people that's under you. So see what the competition's doing. But the one thing that he brought up, and it was a good point, is sometimes the government likes to trickle things in to the American people, to the people of the world, really, to set them up for something bigger. Right. And I don't know that this isn't that. They even brought that up, that is it possible that the drones that are going on are to set people up to stop them from looking in the sky so much, to get it for the people to become used to something being up there?
Well, that's definitely a way to do it. Yeah, because if you're just used to there's drones. Oh, it's always been there.
Well, when you go back and you study some of the stuff that we've covered on the show, that's the easiest way to make people forget about stuff. It's just to put it out there all the time.
Yeah, you get complacent.
What was that? Project Montauk, they did that? Yep. Or MK Ultra? I don't remember which one of those government programs the CIA did, but the people that they hired, the psychiatrists, they said, if you want them to not freak out, you just start dumping it in their life every day and they get used to it.
I feel like they're already kind of doing that they're trickling in, different alien sightings or UFO sightings that are just completely unexplainable, and the government is basically saying, hey, we don't know what this is. Like, not necessarily saying that it's alien, but also not saying that it's alien.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Apparently, you guys haven't heard, but the government has figured out exactly what these are.
No?
You've not heard? It's a combination of 3 things. The government, United States officials are now saying that the sightings are a mix of planes, manned aircraft,
yes,
that's
stars,
the drones in the Northeast.
Right, the drones, and legal drones. So yeah, nothing to worry about, guys. Just legal drones, stars, and planes.
Flies those planes. Those planes are not stationary for 5 hours. You can't fly a stationary plane for 5 hours. Most helicopters don't have the fuel to stay in the air for 5 hours.
Well, one thing that the guy on Rogan, I can't remember his name, but he was saying that these drones don't have any sort of signature that they can trace. Right. Which is crazy to me.
There's a lot of crazy stuff on these. Why haven't we blown every freaking one of them out?
That's the thing that it confuses me the most. It's like well, we don't know what these are. Let's just keep watching them and see what happens.
Our military would absolutely
That's
be
what-
shooting them if they did not know.
We say that, but what we do with the China balloons? We
That
let them
thing-
fly all over the United States and shoot them all when they
We
went
shot
into
it
the
down.
ocean. Yeah, over the ocean.
Eventually, yeah.
After it had a nice, it had like supper and it had a date up there, and there was a couple of birds that made a nest, raised a family before it was shot down. I mean, it was up there for a long time.
A week or so.
That's what cool.
I still say our military is not going to allow this in the areas that it has been without knowing what it is.
That's the scary thing. I mean, we say that, and I want to believe that our government's being a shit, pardon my French, and just not telling us that they're doing something, whatever that is.
Which is what they always do.
Right.
It's what I hope
But
they're doing. to be
here's the
honest. I
catch.
hope that's what's happening.
Here's the catch, though, and here's the thing that makes me believe that still think that maybe not. Wright Pat Air Force Base got shut down for 4 hours because of a drone sighting. If the government's doing that, they're not going to announce to the world that, hey, we're shutting down our Air Force Base for a minute. I don't think.
If they are doing this, first of all, how closely held is that secret? Pretty closely held, right?
Maybe.
Very few people would
Need
be
to
in
know.
on it.
Yeah.
And that means even if it's the Air Force project, these planes, that doesn't mean that everyone in the Air Force knows. So, yeah, I still say I have enough faith in our government that they would not allow this to go on without taking preemptive measures if they had no clue.
I would
what it
hope.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I would lose so much faith in our government if it turned out to not be the case.
Anywho.
Abductions. So what do you guys think?
Do they happen?
Do they happen? And from there, let us know if you think they happen. And also, always more news coverage, less.
I think it's fun to talk about. I think it's
I agree.
interesting. I think it's I think it's interesting. Do they happen? Probably not as much as is claimed. Like you said, I mean, there's a bunch of different scenarios where it could be fake, schizophrenia. Could be waking up from a anesthesia, stuff like that. So
More or less coverage.
do like a sideways stuff. I don't know. I mean, I think it's fun to talk about. I'm going to say more just because it's fun and it's interesting. And I do believe aliens exist. I'm sure that someone's been abducted. I don't know if all these cases are true, but
I agree.
I think they're a little less credible than UFO sightings because it goes a little bit deeper. But what do you think?
Well, I think that if they're going to sail all that way to get here, to examine us, to see what's up, I think that it's very... Here's the thing. If an alien... We give ourselves a lot of credit for being humans, that we're the smartest, the biggest, the baddest thing on Earth. And you would think that our civilization, our technology would answer to that. However, we don't know what type of civilization they came from. They may fly all the way here and hear some whales in the ocean chit-chatting amongst each other and think that whales are the dominant species on the planet. But we don't ever hear of 100-foot, 60-ton whales being abducted, right? However, if you take the whale theory out, humans would be of great interest if you came here. Oh, these are the things that built all the things. But that being said, when you want to look at an insect, do you look at ants? Ants build homes. They construct entire colonies, very much like our cities. But it's not our first go-to when we go, hey, let's go find some bugs. We're not, oh, there's a bunch of ants. Who gives a shit? Right? We go find something cool, like a praying mantis or a spider or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
So anyway, thumbs up. That was a long way to get there. Just because. Hell, we don't know. We
Yeah.
just don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah. What about
I
you,
agree.
Jerry?
I would agree. I would give it a thumbs up. I would also add that if they are coming here, if they have the capabilities to get here from wherever it is, umpteen light years away, then they are so technologically advanced to us, I don't even know that we qualify as interested.
Right.
That's Neil deGrasse Tyson's
Yeah.
theory.
And he basically says they lock.
I
the
don't
door
like
when
that
going
argument.
past there.
I don't like
Why?
that because I think we
So
are
degrading to us,
I-
to humanity.
Well, I think that. Do you think that chimpanzees are interesting compared to us?
Would I go to another? Would I go light years away to study them? Absolutely not.
You wouldn't go light years away to study another intelligent species.
Maybe they don't.
That's
think we're
far
intelligent.
far less.
I mean, what else?
intelligent
What
than
else?
we.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. In just the last 2 months, and this was what they were kind of talking about on Rogan today. In just the last 2 months, okay, from 1994 till now, that's less than 20 years. We went from having a brick phone to a phone that replaces a computer, a fax machine, our phones can do everything. It's
That's
that
right.
technological jump. In the last 2 months alone, we have developed the quantum computer. The quantum computer, like legitimately, you can take every other computer on the face of the planet and ask it, and I don't know what the question was.
Who
but it
developed
was,
it?
Huh?
Who developed it?
It's the new chip by Google. So it's a Google.
Still has a
product.
pretty high error rate.
Yeah.
Pretty very interesting.
Very interesting story. And it's
huge potential.
definitely the next step. In fact, they're talking about opening a new nuclear reactor just to power AI in this new program, this new computer. That's how
scary.
much juice it's going to take, right? But this quantum,
Yeah. It's like Ultron.
yeah, this quantum computer, and I don't know what the question is. The hardest question in the universe, if you took every computer we've ever made since the beginning of computers and then multiplied it times 10, it would take quintillion millions of years to solve the problem. The quantum computer can do it in 15 minutes. That's the extent of what it is. It's insane.
So you're bringing this all up to say that we're potentially
On
becoming
the
interesting.
cusp, we are with AI and the quantum computing. We are on the cusp of changing humanity, hopefully for the better, forever.
But what makes you believe that these guys that are coming to visit didn't pass this thousands of years ago?
Not saying that they didn't, but it would at least be a milestone worth observing.
Would you go? Yeah, I mean, would you if you had a time machine capable of traveling through
Would you go
time?
forward or back?
Would you not go back in time?
I would go forward.
I mean, if you had the opportunity to do both, it's like I don't know.
I'm not really interested. Listen, when I grew up, true story. When I grew up, I always thought I was born in the wrong era. I love knights. I love princesses and castles. I love,
like the fantasy type
jousting
stuff,
and all of that stuff. And then I realized one small fact. Those people never took an effing shower.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how
Shit
bad
hole.
it stunk back in those times? No thanks, I'm out. I want to go to the future. I want to get toilet paper by cussing so I can get fined.
Yeah, you get surgery by it's like Star Trek. They just
Yeah.
wave a little thing over you. Oh, you're fixed.
Yeah, right. So,
Oh yeah.
But no matter what the reason, we ended up with 2.5, 2 3/4 thumbs up. So that's our final version, I guess, on alien abductions. We're for it.
Amen. Alien abductions. Woo woo.
What a great conversation. But we're not done yet. Stick around through these very important ads for an awesome bonus story. JT's Way is a Christ-centered, nonprofit organization with a call to help hurting families during the loss of a child. At JT's Way, they assist families grieving from the loss of a child through assistance with things like funeral expenses, emotional support, guidance through the grief process, and help in their healing journey. While paying for funeral expenses, they help navigate picking a funeral home, burial plot, or cremation services, and provide families with grief counseling resources. JT was 17 years old when he died unexpectedly in an automobile accident. He was a senior in high school and a student in the automotive class. JT loved cars and music, and he took his role of friend very seriously and made sure to make friends wherever he went. Their mission at JT's Way is to minister to families by financially assisting and connecting them with their local resources. These resources will assist in the financial and emotional burden of bearing a child. Their aim is to aid in the healing process for parents and families, and these resources include grief counseling and parent-sibling groups. The outside world doesn't stop, but we can tell you from experience that a parent's world certainly does. In a time of desperate hopelessness, JT's Way provides hope. If you want to help support JT's Way in their mission, please reach out to them at www.jtsway.com. JT would often say, "Let me challenge you to make a friend, be a friend, and most importantly, bring a friend to the loving arms of Jesus Christ."
Hi, this is Ed Locke with USA Mortgage. Buying your first home can be overwhelming, but here are 5 tips to make the process go smoother. Number 1, find a lender, me, Ed Locke, that can answer any questions you might have and help you get pre-approved. There are multiple options available based on your situation. Number 2, work with a real estate agent you can trust. Number 3, don't rush the process. Take your time and know that the process could take some time. Number 4, consider all the costs. Number 5, get a home inspection and review it with your realtor. Keep these tips in mind, budget for yourself, and you'll be that much closer to making your dream of homeownership a reality. So reach out to me at 502-680-0953. NMLS ID 448908, DAS Acquisition Company, LLC, doing business as USA Mortgage, NMLS ID 227262. This is not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. USA Mortgage is an equal housing opportunity.
If you would like to share suggestions for future episodes, or simply tell us how much you love or hate us, reach out to us via email at newsworthywithsteveandjerry@gmail.com or text us at area code 540-709-1318. And now, back to the story.
Gentlemen, tonight we're talking about the Loveland Frog, right across the river in Loveland, Ohio. The Loveland Frog is a tale now over half a century in the making, a story of an odd beast that made its home in Loveland, Ohio. According to locals who have spotted the creature, it is said that the beast is a giant frog, 3 to 4 feet in size, able to stand and walk on its hind legs in bipedal fashion. Sightings of the Loveland Frog began all the way back in 1955 with a local businessman saying he saw several bipedal creatures on the Loveland's primary river, the Little Miami River. In 1972, a police officer said the creature ran across the road in front of his police cruiser. And as late as 2016, a couple of teens out at night playing the Pokemon Go game said they saw the Loveland Frog staring at them from out in the river. Other reports have contested the stories of those who claim to have seen the frog. For example, in the 1972 story, the creature the police officer spotted turned out to be a large iguana. But many Loveland residents and visitors still claim to see the Loveland Frog today, with the Frogman inspiring countless stories and tall tales in the last half century. And Jerry, if you can't see the light,
Be the light.